Hello, my loves. Welcome back to Chemistry with Kismet Tarot. I am Monica, the Kismet Chemist. If you are new to my channel, welcome. Welcome to the family. I am honored to have you. If you are returning, welcome back. I have missed you. Okay, Cancer rising. We are now into Scorpio season. If you want to know what it is to be a Cancer rising, I strongly encourage you to go check out Libra season's rising sign messages, because it was in those messages that I talked about the essence of being a Cancer rising. Now, if you are new to my channel, like I said, welcome. I just hit 700 today, and I am like beside myself, excited and happy and thrilled and honored and just so damn grateful, so blessed, so just, oh my gosh. So if I'm a little squirrely, I apologize. However, the energy for your reading is quite profound as well. So if you are, like I said, if you're new to my channel, after that big, huge tangent, I wanted to explain what we're doing for this month of October, because it is spooky season. We are doing runes, and we're working with the witches' runes here. But as I was getting prepared for rising sign messages, it wasn't the witches' runes that were being called out for with the collective energies. It was actually the Elder Futhark runes. And that was because I got this energy and this message of blending together, understanding that although Elder Futhark is associated with Norse mythology, and the runes, the witch runes in particular, are associated with the gypsies and Romani people, we can blend the energies together and work together and work with them together. And that was something that the Romani and the gypsies didn't often see, was people that wanted to work with them, people that understood their energies. And because I have this resonance with them, as well as I do believe a past life as a gypsy, I wanted to be able to usher in a new time in my life in which I blend them with the energies of tarot, of oracle cards, of channeling and mediumship, but also with other runes. This is why I use them working with the angelic runes, as well as now the Elder Futhark. So each of the rising signs have been getting an overall energy. So your sign, your overall energy, and this applies to the entire season of Scorpio, is Isa. And Isa is the rune which talks about ice. It's about the energy of stasis versus change. It's about stillness, hyper concentration, hyper focus energy. But it's also about the unity of being, like the unity of being one, of masculine and feminine together, of unification within the body, within the mind, within the soul. And it does not strike me as unusual to see the yin and yang already out here from your higher self, for it is actually that indication of why this energy is so overall for you. Now, each one of the piles that you see here correlate to a primary moon phase. So we are working through the 4 primary moon phases: the new moon, the first quarter moon, the full moon, and the third quarter moon. However, because Scorpio season has eclipse energies, we are going to be focusing on the eclipse energies during the new and full moons instead of the new and full moon cycles. So in this way, we're going to be looking at the partial solar eclipse in Scorpio on October 25th. And this falls in your 5th house. And you have the overall energy of the Strength card with the Star card. And then we're going to move on to October 31st and November 1st with the first quarter moon in Aquarius, which falls in your 8th house. And this is the energy of Samhain and the thinning of the veil. And this, you have the 7 of air as well as the male rune. And I want to let you guys know that this pile in particular is the as above deck. And these are messages, the tarot messages here are from your higher self specifically. And then we're going to move on to the full moon and total lunar eclipse in Taurus. This is November 8th, and this is falling in your 11th house. And we have the moon rune as well as the card, the sun. So we have the sun and the moon, and I love that. I just got to throw that out there. I absolutely love that for you. And this is in the realm of your work. And then we are going to be moving on to the third quarter moon in Leo. And this is falling in your second house. And this is all about yourself. And you have the 7 of Wands as well as the flight rune. So without further ado, I'm going to pause it and we're going to transition over and take a look at starting with the partial solar eclipse in Scorpio, October 25th, and the messages that have everything to do with your romance, your relationships, and how you express yourself within these realms, as well as creative self-expression. Now, I did want to say that we are going to be looking at just the eclipse energies. We're not going to be looking at the new moon or the full moon energies. I did pull just the eclipse charts and then divined it from there. So I did want to throw that out there. So without further ado, I will see you guys at the first pile and the new moon partial solar eclipse in Scorpio on October 25th. Okay, Cancer. We are back and we are now focusing on October 25th and the partial solar eclipse in Scorpio. And like I mentioned before, this is falling in your 5th house. This is all about your self-expression, your creative self-expression, your inner child, how you express yourself based off of your childhood, but in particular within your romantic connections. So with this energy, with all of the moon cycles for this particular season, I was pulled and drawn very strongly to doing the energies of numerological. I'm sorry, guys. My brain is like pinging everywhere. Okay. I was drawn to doing numerological energies. So I did break it down into the double digit as well as the single digit. And for this new moon, we have Temperance and Hierophant energy. That means that this new moon and partial solar eclipse is all about alchemizing the past structures for a new beginning. And give me just one moment, guys. Okay, Cancer. Come here, baby. Willow, do you want to come say hi? Did you want to come say hi? Okay. So Willow was outside the door and she was whining. And I just got home. My husband and I went out for like a little mini afternoon date. We went to like Barnes and Noble and got some ice cream and checked out the newest truffle shop here in town, which, oh my gosh. She hand makes all her truffles here in town, and they are phenomenal. And I told her that I make homemade apple butter, and she's like, I will trade you a dozen truffles for a jar of your apple butter. And I was like, I will take that deal gladly. Anyway, so we are working on alchemizing the past structures so that we can all initiate a new beginning in our life. This partial solar eclipse in Scorpio is actually initiating or beginning a new 56-year eclipse cycle called a Saros cycle. Now, this eclipse cycle has eclipse patterns which occur every 18 years in the sign of Scorpio. This particular one is in the first decan or the first 10 degrees of Scorpio. So if you have any planets within the first 10 degrees of Scorpio, these planets are going to be impacted. Guys, if you can give me a moment, I got to let Willow outside, I guess. Okay, Cancer, I apologize so profusely. I know for you guys, you can't tell all that much because it's like I say, I'll be right back. And then I come back and it's like 1 second difference. But I've been trying to sit down and film for Cancer Risings all day. And I had computer updates and computer reboots to do. And then this and that. And then, you know, I took a break so I could spend some time with my husband. And now the dogs are going crazy. So I don't know if it's just because your energy is so excitable right now. But man, it's a lot. So we were talking about this new 56-year eclipse cycle and the first decan of Scorpio. If you have any planets within the first decan or the first 10 degrees of Scorpio, these are the planets that are going to be overhauled. They're going to be changed. They're going to be, the past essentially is being eclipsed out of them. This is about transforming that lower level scorpionic energy and healing the sting of the past surrounding how you love yourself and your perception of love of yourself through the lens of the loss of love from the past. This is how you view whether you are worthy of love based off of the past and how you were loved in the past, or how you lost love in the past. Now, during this moon phase, we do have Mars out of bounds in Gemini, and Mars out of bounds is literally saying, screw all the astrological rules. I'm going to do what I want to do. And you can't really tell me what it is that my energy is going to be. And that's why I was so excited and nervous to sit down and do Mars's retrograde guidebook, because I knew Mars's retrograde guidebook was going to be like that. It was a no holds barred, utter change and transformation of Mars's energy that we would think of naturally as Mars energy. It just radically transformed how Mars worked, at least when I worked with him. But this is in your 12th house. This is a huge, 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 I cannot emphasize this enough. This is a huge retrograde cycle for you. This is utter, radical, spiritual transformation of your divine masculine energy, Cancers. If you want to work with this energy, I strongly, strongly encourage you guys to get my Mars retrograde guidebook. It is available on Amazon now on ebook. Sorry, let me get my camera situated. Okay, there we go. On ebook, on Kindle Unlimited, and paperback. Seriously, guys, are you guys having some issues with, oh, that makes so much sense. Okay, your overall energy is learning how to focus when there is nothing but distractions. I get it now. As soon as I touched this Isa, all the energy that I was working with was so chaotic. So let's figure out how we can work with this. Because Mars is going out of bounds in your 12th house, this is how you're going to feel. You're going to feel like your brain wants to go a million miles a minute, but you can't get it to focus on anything. So because of this, your overall energy during Scorpio season is to really get this focused back. It's to get your focus back. It's to get yourself back to where you need to be, or back to where you feel the best and the most clear in mind. Mars out of bounds in Gemini in your 12th house is making a harmonious trine with the Sun, Moon, and Mercury in Libra. Now, because of this, we are being given this opportunity to find these spiritual, creative solutions in order to transform our style of communication, to bring more balance in, especially in terms of our subconscious and unconscious minds, and in terms of our communications with each other and with our younger selves, really. This is about learning how to have a more balanced approach rather than a reactive approach in our interpersonal relationships, and when there are conflicts in our interpersonal relationships, especially. Black Moon Lilith is also out of bounds in your first house. And this is a huge, she's not following the rules energy either. And she is making a harmonious trine with the Sun, the Moon, and Mercury in the Sun, the Moon, and Venus. Forgive me, I was looking at the wrong notes. The Sun, the Moon, and Venus, all of which are in Scorpio in your 5th house. She is literally teaching you how to nurture and mother yourself. And this is something that you struggle with a lot, because you are 100% adept at nurturing and loving other people. It's what you are the most natural with, is nurturing and loving other people. However, it's this unnatural way of nurturing and mothering yourself. So you have to take how you approach other people and apply it to yourself. Healing your heart from the losses, the lack of loyalty that you've dealt with in your life, as well as the feeling of being abandoned into the murkiness of being trapped in the past, and then setting the intention to go through something in which essentially, when I say go through something, it's setting an intention for this eclipse pattern to really free your heart. You have to have a purpose of freedom and set that in motion. Now, the other huge factor here is that Pluto is still at that critical 26th degree of Capricorn. With Pluto at that 26th degree of Capricorn in your, let's see, this would be in your 7th house. It took me a minute. I had to count. In your 7th house, so this is your house of relationships. Oh, duh, you're Cancers. I apologize, guys. This energy, I am not accustomed to working with this energy on my own. So this is very much like ADHD energy. I gotta say that. And I am ADHD I am neurodivergent. But this is really how the energy feels for you guys in particular during this moon. There's like this kind of spacey feel. But with Pluto being at that critical degree in Capricorn in your 7th house, Pluto is also squaring off with the Sun, the Moon, Mercury, and Venus. Now, this is the final transit of Pluto through Capricorn. Pluto is going, and yes, I know, astrologically speaking, this isn't technically the last one because he's going to be popping back and forth between Aquarius and Capricorn. But this is the last transit over a critical degree within Capricorn that Pluto will go through for the next like 248 years. Can you fathom that? Like, no one in our lifetime or our children's lifetime or our children's children's lifetime or our children's children's lifetime, we're looking 17, 18 generations down from us, are who's going to experience Pluto and Capricorn again. Not anyone that we know. So this is a huge, impactful, transformational time. And this is moving through complete and utter transformation of your interpersonal relationships, of your marriages, your business partnerships, how you come into partnerships. That critical degree that Pluto is sitting at is putting you in a pressure cooker. It's literally putting all of us in a pressure cooker, but Pluto is directly across from your ascendant. So Pluto is putting the pressure on you doubly hard. It's kind of like anybody with a Leo rising is getting the shtick. Let's just be honest. They're getting the shit kicked out of them by Saturn. And I know because I'm a Leo rising. Saturn is literally kicking the shit out of me right now. Pluto is kicking the shit out of you. It's like transform or die kind of energy. And I say that in a very like 80s movie kind of way. But Pluto at this critical degree is asking us to see that the true purpose of undergoing transformation and healing is literally so that we can heal ourselves. It is not to be seen outwardly as a success. It's not to be praised and lauded in our interpersonal relationships. It's literally just because our souls and ourselves just need to heal. And so with that, we're going to be feeling this tension and this pressure on the mind to really let go of vanity, let go of all the things that we think that we need to be in the outside world and try something new, be something different, appear or present ourselves differently. It is a pressure on our minds, in our minds, which is asking us to surrender to this change so that we can turn the corner into a whole new way of being. It's attention to transform the past structures so we can come into a greater awareness of how to be more emotionally grounded. And Cancers, you especially need to know this, need this awareness of, let me ground my emotions. And I say this because I'm a Cancer Sun, Cancer Mercury, and Cancer Mars, all in my 12th house. I have had to slowly, painfully, and over a long duration of time, teach myself how to ground my emotions because it has been so hard because you have so many emotions. You literally feel it all. You feel the whole world. It's the nature of being a Cancer. It's helping you ground your emotions and then verbalize them in a way in your interpersonal relationships where you're able to say, this is what I need in my relationships. This is what I need for connections. This is what I need in my life to feel emotionally fulfilled. And emotional fulfillment is so damn important in this life. It is one of the key factors of being truly fulfilled as a soul is emotional fulfillment. We are being called to take the edge off of the words that we speak to ourselves and to other people, and to usher in or welcome in just in an open receptivity. And especially for you, Cancers, you're not being asked to do anything during this moon cycle. In fact, most of them you're not. It's like you're on ice, but not in a bad way. You're being gifted stillness. And let me tell you, when I was gifted stillness, I fought it tooth and nail in the beginning. And then I relished it. I relished every single moment when I got put on ice by spirit and by the universe, because it was so profound for me. It was such a life transforming time for me. This is a new cycle of wholeness of yourself. When you're on ice, you're being asked to be still, to focus on you, focus on your inner world, focus on the messages from spirit, focus on embracing the mystery of life and understanding that you are created whole. We are all designed unique, but you have a wholeness within you that you may not have seen prior to now. And spirit really wants to illuminate that for you so that you can create a greater balance within your own personal world, but also within your place in the collective and your place in your interpersonal relationships. So as we move forward here, we're going to be looking at your own energy during this moon cycle. So we have you sitting in the strength with the star energy. This is literally like you see the storm. And here's the thing. You're just coming from the Eight of Wands, which is that chaos energy. Like, I'm sorry, I can't help it. It's like she's turning, she's letting the lion lick her, and then it's kind of like, oh shit, the tornado is here. It's kind of, the Eight of Wands is all about forward action, forward movement, forward progress, and that's where you went. But some of you may not have realized that you manifested something quite so like, snap, let's do this. However, the beautiful thing about this is what this energy really did was it put you into this awareness that as quick and as rapid as things are, you have the strength within you to really settle your animalistic instincts, to calm yourself down, to center yourself. And that's you being able to touch into this Isa energy. Because when you touch into it, then you see that stasis, it doesn't mean that you're not changing. Stasis means you are staying still while the rest of the world around you changes, because you know that you have done the changes that you need. So now you get to be in stasis, you get to be in rest mode, and the rest of the world is going to be in this Eight of Wands mode coming to you. And that is what I'm getting from this moon card. Now, usually the moon card talks about illusions, and that is something that's been coming through in my dream state a lot lately. But with this, it's less about the illusions and more about finally seeing the truth of the strength that you carry within yourself. The truth of the power that you have within yourself. And I apologize if you guys can hear the spooky sounds. It's my daughter Eliza's alarm because it's spooky season. So she has it on like, ooh, music. I love it. But in this case, you're in this energy of, was everything just a scam? Was it all just an illusion? Was it all this? Was it all that? But the truth is that you're starting to step back, to rest, to relax, to rejuvenate, and to see the truth that only the nighttime can really illuminate. Sometimes we don't realize that the brightest illumination that we can find is in the darkest moments and the darkest places. It's not within the blasting, blaring light of the sun, but in the soft, gentle subtleties of a full moon, or even just a new moon where there is no moon lighting up the night sky because it's traveling the daytime with the sun, and rather it's the stars that we look to. In this case, you're learning to look within. You're learning to look at the reflection and see the truth of who you are. And as you see the truth of who you are, you now are being called into this energy to start building the life that you want. The life, the love, the romance, the self-expression, the creative endeavors. You're being called into a state in which you're being asked to create now. But you first have to be able to allow yourself to see what you contain within. So let's get a look here at your oracle messages before we move into the next moon phase. This oracle card in particular is the Samhain oracle, and holy cow, as soon as I touched it, I got massive pressure in my third eye. So your ancestors are really, really, really trying to reach you psychically. You may want to just spend some time with them during Scorpio season, and we are going to talk about that as we move forward. But I do get this energy of work with us, work with us, work with us a lot. Just from touching this card, they really want you to reach out and to work with them. They really want you to see this truth of who you are. Just very strongly. I get such a deep, loving energy from your ancestors. But the ancestors definitely wanted to come through and bring forth messages. So all of the Samhain oracle cards are messages from your ancestors, and then the rest are just from your guides and spirit. So we have altar, 2, a sacred devotion, a worship skin deep, rising from the ashes, the waters you keep. So this is about your ancestors wanting you to make a space for them, wanting you to come to them, wanting you to work with them. I do have an ancestor altar space. I have a few altars throughout my house. And actually, you may not realize, but you can literally create an altar out of just about anything. If you have a place in your home where you put up a lot of pictures of your family members and you use that as like, you walk by and you smile and you think about them, that's literally like the essence of an ancestor altar. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. It's more just about, tapping into their energies, tapping into their wisdom, acknowledging the fact that they've been through some shit. Like they've been through shit and they have so much wisdom to pass on to you, and they really want to pass that on to you if you're willing to allow them to. And this is, again, one of those things about looking within, looking internally and looking inside of yourself and really seeing the truth of who you are and the truth of what you have to offer within the world and within yourself. So let's find out what spirits and your guides have. We have finding. See, this is about finding the truth of who you are, just like I was saying. And then, oh my God. Okay. Number one, I have never seen this particular card. Number 2, I haven't seen any of these cards yet. But we have the card 9 and slow down, pause and allow things to unfold. I don't, wow. This is literally what I was saying. You don't have to initiate anything. Once you find the truth of who you are, and look, this is number 9 and this is 18, which reduces to a 9. So you have 8s and then 2 9s. This is literally about allowing for this progression to happen, but knowing that you don't have to do anything. Let things happen. Let the universe catch up with you, because that's what you're being called to do. Holy cow. And now now that focus energy is a lot better, because now you know, well, I don't have to do it. The universe is doing stuff for me. I just need to be here. And I will know when I'm being called to start building again. But right now, that's not what you're being called to do. You're being called to be still. We have strength and resilience. Look at that. You have strength twice. You have strength twice. And look, it's all about the storms. You are the eye of the storm. You know how to settle yourself in the storm. You know how to sit back and allow the storm to rage all around you and all around everyone, and stand in the center, strong, steady, and firm. And that's a beautiful thing, Cancer. It truly is. This is what it means to nurture yourself, to know that I am strong enough to resist, to get through anything. I am resilient enough to survive anything. I can, I will, I continue to. And now I am going to rest, and the universe is going to do the heavy lifting. And I trust the universe to do the heavy lifting. And this is something that your hopes and dreams are literally telling you. You are strong enough. So now it's time to put your hopes and dreams in the hands of the universe, because this is a powerful time to do so. And then we have the card 1, Princess, you can be your own knight. You know what's funny? I was sitting there going, we've got 2 and 3. You've got 8s and 9s, and then 2 and 3. You have 1, 2, 3. Know that you can be what you need for yourself. Know that you have that within yourself. Go and touch base with your ancestors, and then you will know when and what to build. You will feel it from within yourself. You won't be looking to anyone outside of yourself. This Princess, you can be your own knight. This is literally that energy from the Moon card, that energy of realizing what you have within. It doesn't mean that you are not meant for a connection. It means that you're not meant for a codependent connection. You're meant to be in a connection that is whole, healthy, loving, and genuinely complete. So now is the time for you to just take a step back and give yourself the rest you deserve, because you're not meant to carry the load for everyone, Cancer. That's, no offense, but that's such a ridiculous thing. And you just worked through a 4th house season. You just worked through the depths and the core of who you are, the deep, dark everything. You worked through the season that I am working through next in Scorpio season. That season that is the deepest, darkest parts of yourself. You had to traverse that already. And because of that, everything felt chaotic. But in chaos, there is creativity. When you find that and when you embrace yourself and find yourself, that is a simply beautiful moment, but it's so profound at the same time. Okay, Cancer, let's move on to the first quarter moon in Aquarius in your 8th house and the energy during Samhain. So I'm going to pause it and transition everything over. All right, Cancer, we are back and we are now focused on the October 31st and November 1st, Samhain first quarter moon in Aquarius. And it does have a crossover energy. I apologize for the shaking, guys. I'm just trying to get myself reacquainted. Also, I'm noticing that my audio and video are a little bit off kilter. This is just a loading error on my screen. It could fix itself further on, but I did want to let you guys know that this is there. So I apologize for that. It does get a little obnoxious. So I'm going to try and keep the movement to a minimum. So we are working with the first quarter moon in Aquarius. This is in your 8th house. This is your house of spirituality, the house of the occult, the mystery, the depths of who you are. And this is messages from your higher self. And this whole moon phase is about lessons of the soul. It is about healing the hope of the heart and the faith that we have in oneself to find our truest place in the world and within the collective. During this moon phase, there is going to be a thinning of the veil. And we're being called to connect with our ancestors of the soul. Now, we have multiple ancestors, bloodlines, places, people, time frames. Ancestors of the souls are all and none at the same time. They're just souls that we have interacted with that exist on the spiritual plane rather than in the physical world with us, and who have chosen to walk this life with us on a spiritual level because of the resonance between our souls. We could call them soul family, but they're not even always soul family. They're just someone who we have impacted in another life, or who has impacted us in another life enough to have that very strong soul connection between the two. So our ancestors of the soul are asking us to connect with them and to give gratitude for the struggles and everything that they went through. It's the giving gratitude for the struggles of those who came before us, because those struggles that they go through help us to learn. It helps us to heal ourselves, and it helps us to heal our ancestors and descendants. Now, this is a message that came through in one of my most recent pick-a-cards, I do believe. I believe it was one of our most recent pick-a-cards. And it was about the nature of ancestors and us realizing that we are the ancestors right now. We are the ones that someday one of our descendants are going to look at our family chart and they're going to go, oh my gosh, I'm related to this person. This person did this. Imagine what I can do knowing that I have this person in my ancestry, knowing that I am connected to this person. It's knowing here and now that we are laying down the roots that our descendants are going to find nourishment and find protection from. And you are the sign that wants to nourish and protect. So this is about learning how to do that, learning and embracing that, and then giving gratitude for those that came before so that you could do this for the future generations. The choices that we make and their results and consequences during this moon phase are being hyper highlighted, hyper amplified in our awareness. And this is being done through excessive tensions and triggers. Now, if you guys remember, if you were here during Libra season, you know, first quarter moons, third quarter moons, they're bloody charts. They are tense charts. They are charts of tension. These are moon phases designed to get us up and going or to get us to take a step back and do a review. For this one, it's designed to get us up and going. And with Aquarius and that freedom energy, these triggers and tensions are there to bring greater clarity so that we can nurture and be empathetic with ourselves. Again, Cancer, this is an area you are so beautifully adept at with other people, but you struggle with doing this for yourself. And this isn't just for Cancer risings, but you're arguably the one that struggles the most with it because Cancer is your innate energy. So that struggle is the hardest for you. When you can give yourself the love and the empathy that you deserve, the love and empathy and the nurturing and empathy that you give to other people, when you can give that to yourself, that's when you start to diffuse all that tension. Diffuse the triggers and the anger that you have to those triggers and bring a deeper, more loving energy into your family, both spiritually speaking and in the physical world. The gifts and blessings of freedom can be found during this moon phase. Freedom, like true blue freedom, can be found during this moon phase through healing the self from the pains of the past. Now, a book series that I read called the Fever series, and it's a paranormal, supernatural romance series about the fae and people. There is a character, Jericho Barons, who says, stay to the lights in this. And that's because there is a dark fae who has this, it's like a shadow. So it's like a big blob or a big ball of shadow. And if you go into a place that doesn't have any light, the shadow can get you and it will suck you dry until you're just a husk of what you used to be. And in this way, Jericho Barron says, stay to the lights. And this is about us remembering that our shadows can consume us. They can consume us and control us. They can leave us as someone who we just genuinely are not. Or we can shine a light on our shadows, stay to the lights and shine that onto the shadows and illuminate what it is that is actually projecting that shadow outward so that we can heal that part, bring that part into the whole, and love that part as much as we're meant to be loved in and of ourselves. The moon is making a parallel with Pluto during this moon phase. And this energy, this aspect in particular, the message that I got from it is this is about the awareness that the calling of the soul can be one that brings greater healing. And it brings greater healing through knowing that the darkness brings blessings, knowing that magic is truly what we make of it. The words that we speak are spell work. We have power in just the words we speak, the words we think, the thoughts we have, and the ways in which we perceive ourselves in the world. We have inherent magic within us, and we're being shown through the moon and Pluto how that works in our lives and what we want to make of it, how we want to engage with magic, essentially. So our emotions are meant to be blessings of this experience that we call the journey of life. And we're starting to learn that. And for you Cancers, anyone with a lot of Cancer placements or any of your big three within Cancer knows that when you go through these emotional upswings and downswings, you don't want to see them as blessings. And it's really hard to see them as blessings because you're going through emotional upswings and downswings. And it feels like the whole world is always at your back, but doesn't have your back. It's like no matter what, nothing is ever quite there for you because your emotions are always all over the place. But if you can learn the light that you contain within, then you can balance the truth of yourself in the world and what you're here for and the benefit of what you feel and what that can bring forth into your life. Now, you're working through this moon phase in the 7 of air and the male symbol. So this is about changing the way that you interact with your divine masculine energy, changing your perception of divine masculine energy so that you stop becoming as reactive and start being more proactive, but more receptive as well. So you actually have been going down this journey, going on this path. And that's what I talked about, that 4th house energy that I was picking up from you guys. And you are natural rulers of the 4th house, but that's what I'm picking up from you from Libra season was you literally took that 4th house energy and went internal. You decided, hey, I have my own path. And there's no one who's going to be able to determine my path for me except for me and the divine. And so I'm going to go directly to spirit. I'm not going to trust anybody else. I'm not going to listen to anybody else. I'm going to go to spirit. I'm going to sit with my own spirit. And if you haven't been doing that, this is an energy that's been pulling on you to do that. And that is why you have this change here, this balancing, this change and rebalancing of the divine masculine energy, because you're being called, or you have been called and heeded the call to go within. Now you're in this maiden of air. You're getting curious about things. And the 7 of air talks about the I Ching. It talks about the yin being in the yang and the yang being in the yin, and the inextricable nature of change and of the divine masculine and divine feminine, how they are melded together in a permanent state, no matter what. But it also talks about the I Ching, and the I Ching is all about changes. It's a book of changes. And see, there's that camera doing the fluctuation that it does. And I always take that as confirmation from spirit. Everything changes, and you're working in the energy of change. But this crone of air that you're moving into is this closing of the book. It's a closing of a chapter, a closing of a cycle. You're closing an energy now as you're moving through this 8th house energy. You're taking or you're being called to take these steps to initiate this awareness that nobody but you and the divine know your path. And that's okay with you, because that makes you more inspired and more curious to learn more and to forge the path that you're on, because you're the one forging it. And you're also being called to realize that as you mature and go through this energy, that there are some things that we just aren't meant to know. Sometimes that can be one of the scariest things, especially when your emotions are involved. But I've been saying this for about a year to my husband. I've been saying, like, I have no idea what this is doing. I have no idea where this is going, but I trust it. I just know that this is what I'm meant to do, but I don't know where it's taking me. This channel, I don't know where it's taking me right now, but I trust it. I trust it. It makes me feel alive. It makes me feel engaged with life. And so I trust it intrinsically. It's what the divine led me to. So I trust it intrinsically. This is what you're learning here, is that you're not meant to always know things. The book of changes is there because we aren't meant to know things. And if you've ever tried to read, like actually read the book of changes and the I Ching and the Tao Te Ching, some of that stuff is so out there. It's so hard to track it. And I know that a lot of it has to do with the language translation, but some of it is so oppositional to what makes sense that it just reaffirms that we're just not meant to know everything. And there's a beauty in not knowing. And that's what you're being called to do. As you step into this crone of air energy, you're being called to get curious and explore, but understand that the maturity level of this exploration is, I don't know. I'm not meant to know, and I'm okay with that. I'm at peace with that. This brings me peace. So let's see what your ancestors have to say. We have Wolf in the card 44. Devour the ferocious calling within the howling of your spirit. Run wildly into the freedom of your knowing. See, it's about the freedom of knowing that you don't know. I get like You can resist that because it says the freedom of your knowing. But when you know that you don't know, that's true freedom. I am telling you, that's what it means to be standing in the light while you're surrounded by shadows and be like, I don't know how I'm going to get out of this, but I know I'm going to. I don't know how I know, but I know. And I also know that I don't know. And because I don't know, I know that this is what I'm meant to do. I'm meant to do something that I don't know. I don't know where it's going to lead me. I don't know what the path is going to be. I just simply trust it. And you will have all those confirmations along the way. So let's see what we have here. Transformation. Look, butterflies. Yeah. And we've got butterfly or birds here that look like butterflies. And then 38. Honesty is essential. Speak with love and truth. So this, I'm being drawn to how purple these are. This is a lot of crown chakra energy. So Cancer, I have to ask you something because it's coming through. Your guides and especially your higher self wants you to be really honest with yourself. How much do you know and how much are you just kind of winging it? And why are you afraid of people knowing that you're winging it? Guys, when I sit down to channel, I have no clue what's going to come forth. I don't know how my gifts work, but they do. Can you imagine how terrifying it is for a person like me who's literally sitting here channeling messages for you and say, I don't know how this works. I don't know how it works through me. I just know that it does. So I don't know. And it's in the not knowing that I have had to embrace in order to be here and bring these messages forth. Yes, the cards support it. Yes, I can say, hey, it's because I'm psychic. But the honest truth is that all I do is sit here and speak. I speak with love. I speak with truth. I speak what I know and I speak what I feel and what comes through to me to you guys. I don't hear anything specific. I do get certain feelings and certain emotions and certain insights, but I can't explain it. It's ineffable. And when something is ineffable, the only thing that you can do is be honest about the ineffability. It is not explainable. There are no words to explain it. And that is such a freedom of knowing. And I hope that this helps set you free in knowing that it doesn't matter if you can't give me if you are gifted and you can't tell the world this is exactly how my gift works, but you can sit there and you can give messages and help people heal, help people understand, help people come to spirit. Does it matter that you don't know how your gifts work? Or does it only matter what you do with them, how you utilize them? Because for me, it came down to the honest truth, the essential honesty of the truth is that I had to really say, okay, I don't know how this works, but I know it does. And this is why I'm here. I'm here to help you harness what you have within. I'm here to help you become aware. I'm here because there was literally a day like a year ago where I sat down and I talked to spirit and I said, I just want people to understand what it's like to have a relationship with you. I want people to understand what it's like to know you. And I felt so religious in that moment. And I felt so dirty about feeling so religious because I had so much religious trauma. And then it took me an entire year to ameliorate the fact that the way that I speak about spirit sounds so overly religious, but spirit is like my mom and my dad, and spirit is like my best friend, and spirit is like my lover, and spirit is like every person that has ever mattered to me in my entire life, all rolled into one. And then you put a beautiful bow of unconditional love on it. And that's my truth. And that's my truth. Do I know how spirit looks, appears, or works in the world? No. No. Do I know how my gifts from spirit work necessarily? No, but I know that they do. And I know that when I sit here, I can feel myself reaching people that need that connection. And that makes it so important. that makes not knowing so important, because it's in the not knowing that I can't get ahead of myself. I can't infuse any beliefs or opinions or anything like that into it because I don't know how it works. So nothing that I do here has anything to do with me. I just know it's something that I feel called to do, and it's something that makes me feel alive. I hope that makes sense for you guys. So let's get the rest of the message. Cleansing body and spirit. Oh, I love that. I haven't seen this card either. Aw, she's literally like licking a little baby. I love it. And then 26, feather. Think first before you judge. This is literally like, before you judge yourself for not knowing, really think about what it is that I've said. Think about the weight of a feather. Think about ma'at and how the heart, the purest hearts, are weighed against a feather, and that's how they get into the netherworld or the next realm. You can literally cleanse yourself of all of the negativity that you surround yourself with and allow yourself to be free and to speak with love and to be honest. You can literally be the most transparent person. Like, you can be transparent, but you first have to be transparent with yourself. There's a lot of third eye, throat, and crown chakra energy here. And then your ancestors are literally like, your shadow is keeping you from this embracing yourself. Wow. Okay. Before I move on, this cleansing body and spirit, I want to tell you guys, and I know I've said this in other readings, but I do this spiritual bath and spiritual showers where I call in the 4 elements. But what I do is I focus on, I put the directionality of the elements based off of my chart, based off of my natal chart. So I'm a Leo rising. So the eastern, where the sun peaked on the horizon, I use the eastern direction and I associate it with fire. And then the lowest part of the chart, the southern part of my chart, is water energy. Or the northern, sorry, my apologies. The northern part of my chart is water energy. And then we go to the west and it's air energy. So look at your chart. You would be water. So you would start with water as your eastern part, because that's how you started this life. So every day the sun breaks, you have a new emotional day. You get a new emotional body, and you can think of it that way. And you can cleanse this energy out as much as you want. You can also take a salt bath and set the intention for Archangel Raphael, Archangel Zadkiel, Archangel Metatron, and Archangel Michael to come in to surround you, and even Archangel Gabriel to come in and to cleanse you, to cleanse your chakras, realign your chakras, to give you protection, to cleanse your body and your spirit. And when you do these cleanses for your body, you are cleansing your spirit as well. And that's really important for you to know. Don't judge yourself if you are doing things that are off book. Do what feels right to you, because I know that I don't associate the elements with what they say they should be for the cardinal directions, but it's what feels right to me, and the elements respond. And when you have that kind of relationship, then you realize, you know what, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the rest of the world says it has to be this way. What matters is what feels right to me in this moment. And that's what you're really being called to. That's your freedom of your knowing that your ancestors want you to be aware of. All right, so let's go ahead and shift into the full moon, total lunar eclipse in Taurus. All right, Cancer, we are back. We are now on to, sorry about that. I just dropped my purse on the floor. We are on to the November 8th and the full moon, total lunar eclipse in Taurus. Now, this is falling in your 11th house. So this is about your hopes, your dreams, the things that you want for your life. And with Taurus being in your 11th house, this is a lot about having that stable, firm foundation of wealth and abundance, of a life that you do truly hope and dream for. This is about making that into a reality. This is your total lunar eclipse time that is that liminal or the middle place of transformational changes. Now, this is something that has likely been awakening within you for several years, if not for almost almost 2 decades, because the transformation with these solar eclipses or this lunar eclipse pattern started back in 2004. Now, if you remember, we talked about how this is an energy we're looking at numerologically. This is a 1670. This is about the Tower and the Chariot. Now, the Tower and the Chariot energy is really about the rising of a strong Mars and Cancer energy. Now, you are a Cancer and you know, or maybe you don't know, but Mars is considered in fall in the sign of Cancer. This means that Mars can't do what Mars is meant to do in the sign of Cancer. And I know this because, well, my Mars is in Cancer in the 12th house, but it's also at a critical degree. So it does really change the way that the energy works. But Mars in Cancer, a true strong Mars in Cancer, and a blending of the Tower and the Chariot energy is about the true power of an emotionally aware divine masculine, because an emotionally aware divine masculine is a harbinger of peace. He does not engage in war for any sake other than for the sake of peace. Because this is a liminal space or a middle place of transformational changes, this energy is a lot like just walking straight through a portal energy. Mars and Black Moon Lilith are both out of bounds, and they are making a parallel to each other. So this is fuck all the astrological rules. We're just going to do whatever we want to do, and nobody's going to tell us otherwise. Now, this is literally an energy that's going to help us transform our perceptions of toxic divine masculine energy, the abandoning father energy, the silenceable divine feminine energy, and the unloving divine mother or unloving mother energy. And it's going to give a rebirth so that we can change the inner fears within us that whisper these lies to us about the way that divine masculine energy works, the way that the father archetype is, the way that the mother archetype is, and the way that the divine feminine energy really is. This is about eclipsing the hardship mentality that surrounds creation and creation from the heart and the soul. And it's to give way to a new illumination of the fertility of softness and the luxury of personal growth so that we can bring forth more beauty in the world. I don't think when I channeled these messages, I had to really sit with the beauty of personal growth, or the luxury, not the beauty, but the luxury of personal growth. Like, personal growth is a luxury. Wrap your head around that concept for a moment. Personal growth is a luxury. It's a luxury that we get. Not everybody gets to grow on a personal level. Not everybody has the awareness to do so, but we have this as a luxury in our life. Our personal growth gives us this piece of sensuality and sexuality and purity and really true luxury. You think of like a 5-star hotel with 5-star dining and everything is just so opulent. That is what Spirit is asking us during this total lunar eclipse to really see about the nature of personal growth and being soft in our lives can be. Now, I did get a message about creation from Spirit. It said the missing piece of all creation is the heart. The true nature is that the heart is the beauty. We can redeem our lives through the awareness that the painful stings of the past makes us truly immune to the poison of those prior stings once we recognize our truest strength. And our truest strength is in getting back up and sharing our heart's creativity. This is about there being a true beauty in living as a conduit of energy, of healing, and of creation between the heavens and the earth. This is about co-creating our lives with the divine and knowing that internally we can mediate the inner tension between our divine masculine and divine feminine through embracing the purity and the innocence of the love that our inner child has, both for us and for our lives. Now, because we're looking at an emotionally aware divine masculine energy, we also have to look at the archetypes of Saturn, Uranus, Mars, and Jupiter. The Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, and Uranus are all squaring off with Saturn in Aquarius. And the message of this energy in particular is it is time to learn the lessons of change and evolution. It's time to learn the karmic blessings of the individual from the collective past through willingly modernizing and no longer holding on to power out of fear. Now, Cancer, this is the first time, this may end up being a collective message that I need to do from Saturn, but I had that slotted. But I'm getting this message about those in power that are clinging to power instead of sharing it will fall. And that's a really powerful statement. It's not one that is unusual to me. And I have to say that because I did get that when I was channeling my Something Spiritually Catchy book. But it's this understanding that if we look to the archetypes of Uranus as Auranos and Saturn as Kronos, that's a father and a son. And Kronos overtook Auranos, so Auranos could not couldn't procreate anymore. And this is all in my Uranus retrograde guidebook, as well as my Saturn retrograde. It's actually in most of my retrograde guidebooks because this is the theme and the energy of the retrogrades this year. It's the lessons of the father and the lessons of the son, and how the lessons of the son actually reflect the lessons that their fathers taught, and how we can actually take those lessons that came from before, from generations before us, and actually overcome them to do it differently this time. We're being asked to see where we're holding too much power and to relinquish it, to see where we're not adapting and to adapt. And please know that if you're going, well, there aren't any areas where I'm holding on to power. If you know that definitively, then take this as, hey, I'm working with Saturn. I'm working with planets. I'm already on board with this. That's awesome. Keep going. Like, take that as your really firm confirmation instead of getting standoffish. And I don't know why I'm saying this, but this is just the energy. Instead of getting standoffish and coming at the readers like, that's not what I'm doing. Say, hey, I'm already doing that. How freaking awesome am I? And then be freaking awesome. Relish the awesomeness that you are. Like, stand and bask in the awesomeness of being awesome. Yes, that was a Mean Girls reference. It just came through. So now we've got the sun and we've got the moon here. This is the energy that you're in. You're in this sun and moon energy. And this is literally like, because you have learned to focus, learn to be still, learn to allow things to come to you the way that you have been meaning to allow things to come to you, you're now in the energy of both the sun and the moon. This is both the divine masculine and divine feminine. This is your intuition and your awareness, who you are, and this forward progress. This is a beautiful energy to be in. So in the past, it may have felt like, remember when I said it felt like the world was at your back, but not having your back? That's the energy here. And this is about your working life. So you felt like you had to defend every tiny piece of your work, every tiny piece of everything that you were doing for yourself, and really, really fight hard to ground and center and align yourself and your chakras. What I'm seeing here is you really, really, really went deep into rooting your dreams into a reality in your life. And that's a very, very beautiful thing. Because now I'm seeing that you're now learning to alchemize. You're learning to blend. And I have been having visions of this particular infinity symbol for about a week. Wow. And she's blending silver and gold together to make this infinite loop of, and it's like this infinite loop of night and day, this infinite loop of the sun and the moon. And we do have a total lunar eclipse here. So we do that. You have this blended energy. It's so beautiful. You're going to be moving into this Three of Wands, and this particular Three of Wands, he looks bored AF, guys. Like, he looks bored AF. So please, as you are on ice, as you're sitting in stillness, learning how to refocus your energy on this balance that you're harnessing within yourself, if you start feeling bored, instead of engaging in the old ways of self-destruction, realize how much information and wealth of knowledge you have right behind you. So even if you guys don't have like a wealth of books, you literally have access to the Akashic Library literally within your own mind. I don't know if you guys were the sign that I talked about it with. It was either a sign or in one of my pick a cards. But one of the ways that I access the Akashic records is I actually do it through my own visualization, and I visualize my own pineal gland as being an office space inside of my head, like a home office. It's got a fireplace, it's got a library, it's got all these cushy couches and everything. And I go in there and I make sure that everything is nice and neat and nice and clean and that the door is unlocked. And in that way, it's a symbolic way that my brain understands how my psychic gifts are working. And from there, there's actually portals into the Akashic records. And I can access books on my own library and bookshelf. I just created that naturally, and I have found that it actually really works very well for me to access the Akashic Library. You can actually create however you want to create for yourself to get into the Akashic Library. There is much learning for you to do in the Akashic realm. And that's something that I just heard from a very, very powerful guide. It felt like Hilarion, actually. So you might want to look him up. Hilarion. Very powerful. Wow. Okay, let's see what your ancestors have to say. Haunted 21. The breaking of the floor beneath your naked feet. The creaking of the walls as cold. The cold kisses flesh. You're never really alone when in the company of hauntings within bone. So your ancestors want you to know, in all those times where it felt as though the universe didn't have your back, this is what it means. This haunted energy, this is what it means. This is what it means, because it has felt like you're just constantly chasing and running and hiding and fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting all the time. And this iced energy can make you feel very cold. It can make you feel like you are left out in the cold. There's almost an essence of a Five of Pentacles energy, but not quite, because this isn't about a lack in the outside world. This is about your spirit and your soul going through an alchemization. And an alchemization is not an easy process. You have to break everything down. Your physical body breaks down. You go through torment to go through a personal alchemization like this. When you're alchemizing and blending together your sun and your moon, you have to utterly transform everything. So yes, it can feel like you're haunted. You can feel like the Walking Dead. And I don't mean that in the terms of like a zombie. I mean, you can feel cold from the inside out, as though the actual coldness of death has seeped into your bones. And now you have to try and navigate the world. But understand that all of those moments that you have spent working on that root, working on that foundation, working on that grounding during this total lunar eclipse, all of that is starting to fully transmute. It's transforming. And so it's gonna feel like you're waiting on something. It will. What you're waiting on is that heat to come back. You have to endure the cold to appreciate the heat. You have to endure the dark to appreciate the light. You have to endure the hardship in order to appreciate the blessings. This is a natural thing in the human world. It is natural because we do not understand on a soul level 100% of the time. So we have to endure certain things in order to fully appreciate their opposites, so that we don't squander the blessings that we have and the blessings that we get in this life. So let's get a look at your other messages. We have psychic abilities. Yeah. Okay. And then 47, physical touch. A tender touch can mean so much. Okay. So we've got with the Three of Wands and the psychic abilities, this is what we were talking about with the Akashic records. There's so much for you to learn, but you're alchemizing in a way that is going to transform your gifts. You worked on this root chakra so much that there is so much awakening here. And you know, what was it, the last moon cycle or 2 moon cycles ago, I had such huge pressure on my third eye. And now look, we have the psychic abilities. touch actually physically touch your third eye, like rub that area during this moon phase, rub that area and imagine an ice cube melting in the sun. Imagine that melting. You can even do that on a daily basis. You need to unthaw this third eye because that's going to help the alchemization that you're doing. But also know that it's sometimes the colder we feel internally, the more we actually need the touch of someone in the physical world. It doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you codependent. It makes you human. It makes you human. And if you don't have someone in your life who can just walk up and give you a hug, like seriously, shoot me an email. If you genuinely don't have someone in your life who can hug you, who can wrap their arms around you and give you that physical touch to help warm your soul up, to help initiate that entropy that you need, email me and I will send you an energetic hug, like a true blue energetic hug that will feel like my arms around you because you need it. And that, I genuinely mean that. My email is in the description box. I genuinely mean that. All right, so let's take a look here. We have plant the seeds and 13, lioness. You've earned all your stripes. Okay. And now we're getting some allusions to the next moon phase, which is in Leo in your second house. But here, see how worthy you are. See how, like, when it comes to this area, you may be drawn to psychic fields, mediumship, channeling, tarot reads, energy healing, anything, even just Akashic record reading or Akashic record channeling. You may be so adept at channeling the Akashic records that you may not even realize that, hey, this is just an innate gift of mine. I can literally sit down and tell you what you want to know from the Akashic records. I don't know how I can do that, but I can do that. This is a gift you have. And if you haven't realized it, allow this alchemization and even just the alchemization that you're doing here with your sun and your moon, your divine masculine and divine feminine. What you're doing is off the charts. It's not documented in this world, is what I'm hearing. It's not anything that you can find written. It's in the Akashic records, but you can't find it written because someone is meant to write it. So whoever is here and is a writer, you're meant to write this experience. You're meant to share this experience. Psychic abilities range so dramatically, but it doesn't make you unworthy. So plant the seeds here of your own worthiness and plant the seeds that you're going to be able to see and build and create the life that you want. And know that it will come in. So it doesn't matter how long it takes. You're going to sit in that 3 of Wands energy as long as it takes because you know you've earned your stripes. You know that you are ready for this. Now, we've had 2 very separate messages because there is a manifestation message right here from Spirit and your guides. But your ancestors want you to understand what it's like to connect to another person. And both of these messages are so incredibly important because even Spirit gave that nod to the physical touch. This is about you being able to actually physically engage in life again. The ice being on ice is thawing now. And I feel like it will be thawed by the next moon phase. So let's take a look at that moon phase. Okay, Cancer, we are back and I'm going to say hi. Say hi. Say hi. Willow wanted to say hi because she is sitting here with me, just kind of hanging out. We're on November 16th and the 3rd quarter moon in Leo, and this is falling in your 2nd house. This is a Devil and Lovers Day. So this is about the choices we make and the ways in which we tell ourselves mentally whether these choices were right, wrong, good, bad, anything. It's literally about the mentality that we have surrounding the choices and the decisions that we make in life and in love. Now, Venus is coming to the 0 degree in Sagittarius. That puts Venus at a critical degree of Sagittarius and a new beginning kind of critical degree. And so this is all about our belief in love taking aim for the future. So it's just determining that the love that we have for ourselves and the love that we deserve in our lives is enough to stake our bets on for life. And then aiming our future to be something that we are going to be living in a state of love. The Sun and Mercury and Scorpio plus Venus and Sagittarius are all squaring off with the moon. And so we need to be looking to another planet to alleviate this tension. The Sun is making a quincunx or a flexibility energy, and the moon is having this easygoing flow of energy with Mars retrograded in Gemini, your 12th house. So this is about a deep awareness and understanding and learning of how to be flexible in your view of the love and the ways of speaking with the divine, as well as with yourself and with others through emotional ease. For you in particular, this is literally about using your gifts and speaking with your gifts, because we're working with 12th house energy as well as, 12th house, 5th house, and 2nd house energy. This is how you creatively express your self-worth within the spiritual community. But we want to be looking at what you contain within yourself that allows for this emotional ease, that emotionally aware divine masculine we were talking about. It's about finding a creative solution to integrate changes and embody the duality of being a shapeshifter in your life. And a shapeshifter isn't somebody who is duplicitous. It's somebody who knows their worth and knows that they are here to be more than just one thing, and they allow that. The message I got is this is about excising shame through guarding the inner creative fields for true change to blossom within, and forgiving the struggles and the tensions of prior hierarchical structures through making a conscious decision to change the ways in which we have structured certain things into hierarchies, and instead embrace a healthy, loving, welcome equality for everyone and everything, and a new world and reality that we have the potential and are currently creating. Sorry, I needed to get a drink of water. Now, all quarter moons come with tension. The reason why all quarter moons come with tension, why I call them a bloody chart, is because they're the moment the sun and the moon come to a square aspect or a 90-degree aspect and a 90-degree right angle. And whatever planets are traveling with or transiting near these two planets become energetically involved. It's like two kids out on the playground. Kid A and kid B are having issues with each other. Now they butt heads, and then they go off and they tell their little group of friends. And now their little group of friends are involved in the conflict between person A and person B, or kid A and kid B. It's the same thing in the heavens. Whatever's with the sun is going to be on the side of the sun. Whatever is with the moon is going to be on the side of the moon. And those are going to just butt heads consistently. So it heightens the energy and it heightens the tension within our two most personal planets. Now, when we think of the 90-degree aspect, the square aspect, it's a right angle. When we think of the right direction, the right part of our body or the right hand is considered divine masculine energy. This means we're called to use the energies of both the sun and the moon and whatever planets are involved in order to lessen the tension on our divine masculine through action or receptivity of the divine feminine energies. The divine feminine is what dictates where our divine masculine goes. She's the boss. She's the boss energy. She's the boss, she's a boss ass bitch, and we're meant to listen to her. Now, what you're doing in this energy is embodying this 7 of Wands. It's that the world is at my back, but doesn't have my back. But you're starting to realize during this that it's literally the only thing that is ever really holding you back from having your skyrocket is your own mentality, because you've got the 7 of Wands, but all of the little lizards, they're fake. The salamanders, they're fake. They're not there. They're literally just part of her mentality. Plus, you've got the flight rune, and that talks about the mental aspect. And if you look, you literally have all swords energy. Your entire mind is getting an overhaul. And the reason why is because you took a break. Like you were in this Four of Swords, that iced energy. You were in that Four of Swords and you had fun, but then you started feeling like, I can't do this. I'm stuck. That Eight of Swords energy is literally just an illusion. It's an illusion because the Eight of Swords and the Seven of Wands, you're learning how to eliminate this from your mind. And that's a beautiful thing. Because see here, she's enjoying herself. She's having a break. She's taking a break. It's like, okay, I could focus on all of the mess, but I don't want to. Because if you focus on all of the mess, this is where you're at. But look, then you move into the King of Swords. The King of Swords, she's literally showing a chart where it all goes up. Everything goes up in both these charts. So it's time for you to realize that when you shift your mentality into a clean state, a steady state, a state of awareness of your own truth, your own worth, your own value. Clear and cleanse your mind and get some clarity on your purpose and your direction here. When you allow this break to literally cleanse and amplify your mentality, your mindset, you're going to manifest the life that you want way faster. And I saw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on my clock. And I just wanted to let you guys know that. So let's see what your ancestors have to say. We have Dark Moon and the number 13. In the dark of your heart lives new breath, waiting for you to release its ghost. You see, this is literally about you letting go of those mindsets. Cancer, you are the one sign that can torture yourself till the day is long. You can torture yourself for months, years, and you almost won't even realize that you're doing it to an extent because it's so natural. You take care of everyone, but you struggle to take care of yourself. Your ancestors are literally saying, the moon is starting to go dark. As the moon's light wanes, let these mentalities wane. Let this mindset that you can't do anything, that you can't go anywhere, that you aren't enough, that you aren't good enough, that your life isn't going where you want it to go. Let all of that shit go. Let it go. Let the dark moon absorb that. Let the night sky absorb that. The darkness, the stars, they are all ready to take that burden from you. Your ancestors are ready to take that burden from you because that mentality was never yours to have in this life. It was never yours. It was 100% meant to be in your ancestry, but for you to learn from it and to grow from it and to rise from it. So now is the time for you to learn, to grow, and to rise. So let's get your additional messages. We have talent. You see? Look, exactly this. You have so much talent. You have so many gifts, so many skills, so many talents. But the more that you tell yourself you can't do it, it's not enough, and it's literally your mind is getting in your way of you just shining out from what you can do and who you are. And look, she's literally touching the stars. She's literally touching the stars. And then we've got the card 19, express love through gifts. A small token of love can convey great appreciation. I'm actually getting this as like the divine wants you to see each and every one of your talents as gifts, wants you to see each and every one of your gifts as talents, and wants you to see that those are the divine's expression of love for you. If you can channel, that is the divine's expression of love for you. That's a deeply loving gift that the divine says, I trust you enough to speak for me in this world. If you are a medium, you are being trusted enough to bring forth messages from the spiritual realm, to cross the barrier, to bring them back, and to share them so that people can heal. Can you not see how blessed and how loved you truly are? How appreciated you are by your guides and your ancestors in the universe. God, Cancers, I want to wrap you guys up in bubble wrap and hug you until the day is long, because I feel like you just need to understand that you are so loved by the universe. And it's literally, the universe is like, I'm literally seeing a cartoon version of the universe, like holding up a mirror and being like, can you please look and see how beautiful you are? Like, Cancers, can you please look and see how amazing you are? Can you please look and see how talented you are? Can you please look and see how free you are? How wise you are, how brilliant you are, how talented you are, how skilled you are, how creative you are. Can you not see how absolutely appreciated you are by the world, by the universe? And if you can't, look in the mirror because I'm holding it up for you. And the universe is like constantly nudging you. Look, see yourself the way that I see you. See yourself the way that these people see you. See yourself in the light of the truth of who you are, because you are so beautiful. You are so brilliant. You are so loved. See how whole you are. See how united you are. See that you don't need to do anything to earn this love because you are love. Let's get your final messages for this pile. Meditation for creativity. See how creative you are. Aw, and 30, Castle, it's time for healing, not war. Exactly. Let yourself heal. Don't keep battling. Don't keep fighting through. Don't tell yourself I have to do this and this and this. That's why you got put on ice, because it's time for you to fully heal. Gosh, you're just, Cancers, you guys always just, you just amaze me. Seriously, getting to the end of your guys' reading, it's like sinking into an energetic bubble bath of love. I wish so much, and I'm sure that you've heard something similar, like just how incredible you are. Thank you so much. I was thanking the room, just in case you guys were wondering. I mean, I'm sure you guys have heard multiple times how incredible you are, how loving you are, how wonderful your energy is, all of that. But seriously, your energy is like a warm bubble bath. And I really, really wish more than anything, not for you to understand it and feel what I feel, but rather for you to feel your own energy. Not hear it from the outside world, but to just sink into your own energy and be like, wow, my energy is so incredible that I feel like I just sunk into a bubble bath by just tapping into myself. For you to feel into your own energy and feel just how amazing you really are. And know that there's no bravado to it. There's no superiority to it. You're not being better than anybody else. And so you don't need to put up that protective layer of the shell that you always do, because you just are really genuinely tapping into your own energy and being like, oh my gosh, like I'm like a warm hug. You're like Buddy the elf. Seriously, like that's your energy. You're like Buddy the elf. He is so beautifully naive about how amazing he actually is, but that's what you are. We have astrology and destiny. These are just your final messages to move forward. And then coins in abundance. And tea leaves in foresight. Oh, flowers and fickle. Oh, sweetie. You see, you're, I want to hug you so bad, Cancer. You're not meant to be like the flower. I can't tell if I gave this message before or if I'm having like massive levels of deja vu, but you're not the flower. You're not meant to bloom and then wither and die, and that one time was all you get. Though the universe is not going to be that fickle with what it has planned for you. I'm sorry, but no. So this is the time for you to realize that as soon as you start like really committing to yourself, instead of always being there for others first, but be there for yourself first. In this case, you're literally stepping into your destiny, and your destiny has everything to do with abundance. It has everything to do with you being able to read the signs, being able to see ahead of things, and being able to see where things are going to go wrong and where things are going to go right, and then follow the path that things are going to go right. There is absolutely nothing wrong with you using your own gifts to keep you ahead. But you are literally destined for abundance. And you've seen this. It's like you've had a vision of you like winning the lottery or something like that and been like, that's one of the most ridiculous things ever. Because there are so many, I'm telling you, there are so many people on this spiritual journey who actually have those kind of visions. But it's in order to teach, for the most part, it's in order to teach people that they are abundant and they're worthy of abundance. But for you, it's almost like you're like, nah, and then you go and buy a lottery ticket and win the lottery. If that happens, I want to know. I do want to know. I'm curious. But you're learning that you're literally destiny. You're literally abundance. You're literally the lottery. You are the lottery. You don't have to win the lottery because you are the lottery. You're the lottery. And you're starting to realize that for everybody else in your life, that you're the lottery. You're not fickle. You are so dedicated. You are so determined. You are so committed to everything that you're the freaking lottery. Like, that's the message coming through for you to step into Scorpio season going, hell yes, I'm the freaking lottery. I am this. I am the mega millionaire. I am the one who is destined for nothing but abundance and beauty and wonder and awe and amazing experiences. And you are truly destined for a life that you want, a dream that you want, a psychic vision that you have had, and a life filled with these psychic insights. These are your destinies. Follow your destiny. Don't be fickle with your own path. There will be plenty of time for other people to take care of themselves in their own time, but you need to be able to take care of yourself here. Don't fall to what everybody else is doing. Follow your heart. Follow your soul and know your own strength here. Know what you are capable of doing, Cancer, because you're capable of doing so much more than you give yourself credit for 99.99999% of the time. Rise up, elevate yourself into that true strength of who you are, because now is the time for you to do that. Your destiny is waiting, and your destiny is filled with abundance. It's filled with these beautiful psychic gifts and foresight and wisdom. So don't think that the universe is ever going to be fickle with you. The universe loves you. You are the permanent blooming rose of the universe. It knows that you will never wither, and therefore its love for you will never wither. You are more loved and more supported than you could possibly fathom right now, but you will someday see it and be able to stand firmly in your power and say, I am loved this much by the universe, and nothing and no one will ever stop me. Okay, Cancers, I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for being here. I want to say thank you to your guides and my guides for facilitating the connection between us. Thank you so much, Spirit, for helping keep me on track with this reading, even though I struggled a lot with it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I also deeply, deeply appreciate being able to be here and channel your messages and share your light and share your wisdom and share your voice and share my light and share my wisdom and share my voice co-creatively with you. It truly means so much to me. Thank you so much. Cancer rising, if this resonated, please hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the little notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. Down in the description box, check out my author page, get your Mars retrograde guidebook. Don't skimp out on it because it's going to help you get through this time frame. And it's your 12th house. It's so important for you to make sure that you are working with these energies. So I strongly encourage it. Down in the comment section below, let me know how this resonated. I want to know how you're doing. I want to know if you need an energetic hug. Anything, let me know. I love you guys so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you one more time. And I will see you at my readings next week. I love you all. Bye.